We are going to look for some rocks right here. I was planning on going to um, Chief Spotted Eagle's camp, but I have to find out exactly where it's at. All right. So let's get situated here. Turn the camera stones over here. Oh, thing there. There we go. Let's see. And right here. Up a little bit. Way whenever I pick a rock, I can just show you what I'm picking up. Okay, what do we have here? Oh, this is just a piece of driftwood. We'll just toss that aside. I see a rock right there that I want to look at. That looks like it might be a piece of jasper, red jasper. We'll put that in our bag and take it home. I like looking for stuff like this. See, it's already split though. See, okay, so we'll look around, see what we can find. That looks interesting. It's got some layers right there. Layers right there. No layers on this side. But we'll still take that home. We might cut that in half or something. See, I take home little stuff like this. Even though it's not special, because it got sharp edges, it will help in your step one. See, this looks cool. Got this neat formation here. Don't see no fossils or nothing, just holes in it. It might be fossils, but I'm not sure. But we'll take it home with us. Okay, what else can we find? Here, this looks cool. Looks like maybe a piece of quartz. Another little piece with sharp edges. That's good for step one. Let's see where we can find it special. That's got a bunch of lines on it. Might be a fossil there. Yeah. See the lines right there? Have to take this home and clean it up and look at it. Put this one in my pocket. We are at the Yellowstone River looking for rocks. River's down a little bit. Couple more weeks and we'll be able to get back out there. See, I'll show you guys. See that gravel bar right there? That gravel bar usually comes all the way up to the edge. So that's when the river is going down where it usually is. And once that water recedes, we can get out there and look for rocks. That's the best place to look for, right there at that gravel bar. Finds petrified wood, agates, all kinds of stuff right there. But we can't get there right now, so we have to make do with what we have right here. That's got some interesting colors. There, that's better. We'll put that in the bag. I pick up these little quartz balls, take them home. Hey, Paul, how are you today? Y'all can see, and I can see what you're saying. There's a piece of quartz right there. It's like rose quartz. Piece of rose quartz. That'll tumble up nicely. What is this here? That's just a piece of wood. Toss that over there. What is this here? That might be a piece of quartz. We'll put that in the bag. Yeah, I found these little ones. Just looking around. So how is everybody? Found this one. This looks like it might be a little piece of granite. It'll tumble up okay. There, that's an interesting piece right there. Does that look cool or what? It's got that gray around the edges and then that like white smoky color in the center. That looks cool. That'll go in my pocket. I put all the special ones in my pocket. And this looks like just a piece of, either a piece of quartz. Yeah. This one. That looks like a piece of Montana moss agate. We'll put that one in our pocket. What in the world is this? That looks neat, don't it? Another one to go in our pocket. Another one to go in our pocket. The ones in our pocket are the special ones. The rest of them go in the backpack. Now that one looks neat, don't it? It's a darker brown with like the lighter brown circle around it. Put that one in the backpack. That looks neat. A piece of quartz. Quartz is always tumbles up real well. That's good. That one ain't nothing special. Got some sharp edges that go good in a round one. That looks neat, don't it? Looks like rose quartz. What do y'all think? Rose quartz? Put that in the bag. Let's look at this. That ain't nothing special. The end is broke off. We'll put that one back. That looks like a piece of rose quartz. See, if I had an SUV, I could do what that guy just did. Drive right down there, right out to the gravel bar, but I don't have one. I got a little Honda Civic. And if we drove out there, it would be out there forever, I think. See, that's interesting. It's like it's two different colors. That one's like a rose color, and that one's almost like dark brown. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it might be quartz. There's another piece of Looks like what might be quartz. Little pieces. We keep them. Because quartz tumbles up really nice. Rose quartz. Rose quartz. Well, and see what we can find. See what we found here. It's like another piece of quartz. And that's just fine. Not sure what this is. I'm not sure what that is. Not quartz. Not in it. Hello, Jenna. How are you today? We are at the Yellowstone River by Miles City, Montana, looking for rocks, seeing what we can find. And whatever we find today, we'll put in the tumbler tomorrow at home. All right, so that's what we found. Doesn't look like nothing special, but we'll take it home and tumble it, see what comes of it. See these pieces like this that have these rough edges. If you take and put them in your tumbler on step one, they will help smooth out the other rocks. That looks neat. See this? It's kind of a reddish color in the center, but then it's got like light colored spots on the edge. This is the side that was up there. There's a fossil right there, right by my thumb. That there is a fossil. So we will put that in our pocket because I didn't put them in my pocket the other day when I come out, and they got mixed up with the other rocks, and I don't know where they went. That's just a piece of wood. Let's see, this one's got like a fossil on the top of it, right here. And it's got something right there. That stuff is interesting. And I'd like to send samples to the University of Montana and find out exactly what they are. That's just a piece of quartz. We like quartz. Quartz tumbles well. See, that's cool. I find cool stuff all the time out here. Mm. Okay, so yeah, it's got something on it right there. By my finger, see it right there. I just don't know what this crap is. Something right there, maybe. We'll have to take these home and wash them real good. That's just a piece of quartz. Little piece of quartz. No, that's just like a piece of rose quartz, maybe. Piece of quartz. Sure. Doesn't that look cool? It's a little piece, but it's interesting. Another piece of quartz. Quartz tumbles up real good. Oh, there's interesting. Oh, wait, that's got something on there right there. Can y'all see that? That dotted line right there? And then there's something right there. That's cool. We will put that in our pocket. That way we don't lose it. That's just a piece of quartz. Hey, Sen, how are you? How's my friend? We're at the here. I'll show you where I sit at. See, that's this is a half a mile from my house. How lucky am I to live here? I live in the most gorgeous area, I think, in the United States because I have that, and then behind there is a state park, but it takes you like 2 miles to get there because you have to go up the road and then come over and come back. And it's like literally right over there. I'm good. How are you today? So I have to find out where Chief Spotted Eagle's camp is at. I know it's here in town, but I went to drive over there and it wasn't the right road. So I said, just go where you know and find out from somebody. So Chief Spotted Eagle, that camp is interesting. It's here in Miles City. Miles City is or 65 miles away from Little Bighorn. And the story is that Custer stopped here at Chief Spotted Eagle's camp first, and he unalived women, children. There were no braves there, but there was a one young brave that was there, and he got on his horse and he rode to the main camp. So when Custer got to the main camp, which check this out, was 3 miles by 4 miles square of teepees. There's said to be 40 to 60,000 braves there. And Custer had 100 men, 50 to 100. But what Custer did was he split his group. They would have been outnumbered anyhow, but he split his group and he sent half of them one way and he stayed. This story from the Indians that Custer stayed up on the ridge and watched his men get slaughtered, and then he came down. That's horrible. You send your men basically to die, and then you go pretend to rescue them. That's bad, in my view. And I always said, see, I have common sense, which not a lot of people don't do. The story they told in uh, the history books is that Custer rode in amongst a small group of braves and that they overpowered him. And I always thought, well, if they all got killed, how does his wife know what happened? Because what's in the Custer's wife's version of what happened? Everybody got killed. How does she know? Does that make sense? So the Indians tell a different story and they tell it from the braves that were actually there. And I would rather believe someone that was actually there and saw it than someone that was 1,500 miles away and her husband and everybody got killed and she wasn't even there. I always said, how the hell does that make sense? And the story the Indians tell from doing research is that Custer sent one of his scouts to the general who was like a day's march away, and Custer was supposed to wait until his scout got back. And Custer saw a couple of braves, and he didn't wait, and he sent his men to attack. Well, the couple of braves were followed by a war party of about 100, and they all got slaughtered. That's the Indians' version, which makes more sense, you know what I mean? I go from what makes sense from the facts from people who were actually there, rather than someone that wasn't there and thinks this is what. I find neat little rocks like this all the time. I got one I just put in my pocket. Let me see if I can find it. Fossil on it. Is that the one? Okay, so that's got an indentation right there. Oval. Let me see. No, that ain't a fossil. I don't see no lines. There's another one in there. I got 3 or 4 in my pocket. That ain't the one. There. Look at that. That is a fossil right there. And maybe something over there. But I'll tumble that and then send it to the university and ask them to identify it. Find stuff like that all the time. I'm getting to where that I think I should send stuff off to the university to identify it so I know what I found. Like that one has got something in it right there. Got lines. And that one's a triangle. I don't know nothing in nature that makes a triangle. You know what I mean? And this, I thought this was just cool. A little piece of granite. Yeah, that's the one I just put back in there. Oops. See, it looks like it might be something right there on the other side of this one. But that's definitely a fossil right there. You can see the outline. Got anything else in here? I always stick interesting stuff in my pocket. That's just a piece of granite. Looks like something might be right there. Need to clean it off better. I just sit out here and look around and see what I can find. Spend a little time out here, rather than sit at home and say, woe is me all day, right? Found this. This looks really cool. That one looks like it has a fossil right there. Right there. I need to clean them up when I get home. And this I thought was just a cool color. And that, I thought that right there was cool. This like purple on the outside and then that smoky gray on the inside. Let me see if I got one more in here, maybe. Oh, I got two. So we're gonna put a chair for a second. Put these back in there, and we'll go through these two. Where did they go? Two. Well, I dropped them. I don't know where they went. Oh well. Quartz, but it's a interesting shape. Quartz tumbles up real nice. You know, that Mayon volcano has been going off since January 6th. And I am going to try to find a way to get some rocks from there because it's basalt and andesite. And I talked to my supplier and she said that would tumble up real nice. Now I just got to find a way to get some. Maybe a local rock shop that's on the internet or something, maybe. See those lines? That's cool. White right there, and then that's kinda like gray, and then it has white next to it. Cool stuff. Like I say, it's something to do and not sit at home and say, "Woe is me" all day. These are just little pieces that'll tumble up real nice. See, I don't know about that. I wish my other eye was fixed. And there's a fossil right there. See the lines? And then the line going this way? And then that's just a piece of quartz. Quartz tumbles up real nice. That's a neat color, huh? It's kinda like a rosy color. It's not quartz. Might be quartz. We'll have to see how it tumbles. This quartz tumbles really nice. It rounds off and it looks like I call them quartz eggs because they get nice and oval. And Mark from Super Agates, he calls them the quartz balls because they round up real nice. There's another. See, that's neat. Has the dark, almost black in here, and then like a brown spot right there, brown over there, and then the top is like a reddish brown. That'll be cool. Another piece of quartz. Finding a lot of quartz today. Oh, that looks interesting. A circle and two little lines right there. I don't have my flashlight with me, otherwise we'd do the agate test. We'll put that in our pocket. Oh, did I show you guys? Isn't that neat? We put the neat ones like that in our pocket. That way they don't get mixed up with the other rocks. This is here. That's like scale in there. I call it scale. And this is the true color of the rock on the opposite side. We'll put that one in the bag. That looks neat. Here's a little flat one, like a flat piece of granite. Piece of wood. Piece of granite? No. Piece of quartz. There. That was a piece of agate. Just flipped and went flying. Shoot. I like to keep the agate pieces. I went to pick it up and went fling somewhere. This is a piece of quartz. Well, bummer. That was a nice size agate. See, you find stuff like this? I find it all the time. See, that's what I'm looking at. That looks neat. It's amazing what nature can do. Get amazed what happens in nature. I tell people all the time, I don't make perfect rocks because nothing in nature is perfect. I tumble them, and however they turn out when they're tumbled, that's how they turn out. No sense in getting all up in the air about it. Sometimes you have to do them over, but that's the nature of it. That's the nature of it. See, found these, and this one is just a cool color. And then our live tomorrow about putting the rocks that we found here in the tumbler. See, that's cool looking. There's a cool looking piece. All them sharp edges on it. I usually look for agates and jasper. I don't see none today. No. We have here. Seems like find today is fossils. That's a cool oh, excuse me, that's a cool color. Put that one in my pocket. That's cool. What did we find here? Piece of granite. Small piece of I'm not sure on this one. I don't have my water bottle with me that I could spray it off. I need to start remembering to bring my water bottle with me. Look for stuff like this with lines in it or cool shapes. Or lately I've been looking for fossils. See, cool stuff. And it's not an expensive hobby. The 4-pound Vivor tumbler is like $56. I have 2 of them. They work great. A lot of people complain about Vivor products, saying they're cheap. I've had those 2. One I've had since December, the other one since February, and not a single mechanical problem with either one. So I would buy another one. When you have 2 and everybody complains about what a piece of crap they are and that they fail all the time, and you buy 2 of them and they run 24 hours a day for 6 months with no problem, I think you should buy another one. You know what I mean? I think that's a company you should stick with. I'm a firm believer in sticking with products that work well. You know, a lot of people will only buy American. Well, your American made equivalent to the Vivor 4-pound is like $125, and it runs off of a pulley and a belt, brake all the time. So you have to keep spare belts in stock. And I think that's a bunch of nonsense. The Vivor is direct drive. The motor hooks right up to the tumbler bar that rolls it. Runs 24 hours a day, no problem. I want to buy the bigger one. I want to buy the 11-pound because I got a big pile of rocks waiting to be tumbled. I probably got like 25, 30 pounds of rocks waiting to be tumbled. And here, this is neat. Look at this. Just a little piece. Got something right there. Can't hardly make out what it is. And it's got a fossil there. So we keep that one. Yeah, we definitely keep the fossils. Fossils. Gee whiz. Even though we came out here looking for agates, we find fossils, we keep them. Because I want to be able to see that one's cool. Got lines in it, white lines. Right there. On a dirt bike. Hey, Sen, are you still here? Um, in Montana, ATVs are street legal. You can put plates on them and drive them on the street. Yeah. street legal. Put plates on them, drive them on the street. People drive side by sides on the street around here all the time. Well, there's a fossil right there. Cool stuff. The fossils I'm putting in my pocket so that I can do a tumbler load of just fossils, and then lay them out and take pictures of them. Yeah, it's cool. See the lines right there and right there and right there. Like a carve in the rock right there and right here. Cool stuff. Did y'all see that? Yeah, I want to make sure you guys see this stuff and it's not just me putting everything away, you know? Yeah, I think my candidate is going to get fired. That wasn't cool what he did today. He trashed my her name is Keenan. She's great. She does a fabulous job. And he come in and said there was in the hospital and she refused to come and cover for him. So I have her cell number. So I reached out to her and asked her what really happened. She said it didn't go down like that at all. And I didn't think so because she's just not like that. Hey, Kathy, how are you today? So what happened was his father-in-law got taken to the ER last night for a blood clot in the leg, and he reached out to Keenan, and Keenan is out of town. She goes out of town on the weekends. I know that. And so he asked her to cover for him, and she said, "If I was in town, I would do it in a heartbeat. I'm sorry about your father-in-law." So then he come today and said she refused to cover for me. That ain't the way that happened. And then he showed up a half hour late, supposed to be there at 9 o'clock, stay till 11:15. He come at 9:30 and left at 11 o'clock. So I had to turn him in. And Jamie, the big boss, he's a pretty cool dude. He said, "I'm sorry for the for the confusion and that what he did wasn't okay." And he said, "Maybe I should start looking for somebody else." And I said, "Yeah, I agree." Because that's not cool. That is not cool at all. You know, don't say the other aide refused to cover for you when she ain't in town. And she said, if I were in town, I would come do it in a heartbeat. That is not cool. I don't like turning people in, but I felt like, that went beyond the pale. You know what I mean? You don't do that. You don't trash your fellow employee because you had a emergency. See, isn't that cool? Got different colors. I just don't go for that. If you have an emergency and the other aide can't cover you but they said if I were in town, I would be there. That's different than saying she flat refused. That's cool. I'm gonna put this one in my pocket because it looks like there might be something on there, but I have to wash it off to find out. And I tried to explain to him with what I call fuzzy math. I told him, okay, I get 9 hours a week, and Keenan comes on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. She stays an hour and 15 minutes. That's 6 hours and 45 minutes. That leaves 2 hours and 15 minutes for Saturday. And he said, no, no, I'm only supposed to be here for an hour and a half. So I told the boss, because we've had issues with him before with leaving early. And the boss said, no, that's not right. Because he's supposed to get here at 9 o'clock and stay till 11:15. And he showed up today at 9:30, stayed till 11. Only an hour and a half. And I'm not a complainer. I don't like to complain. Sometimes you gotta say something. Isn't that cool? And these, I just found these just sitting on the ground. Put these in the bag. And he's the one that was supposed to give me a ride for my eye surgery Monday, and he bailed on that, so I wasn't happy about that. Left me with no ride, so I had to call and reschedule. He said, "Oh, let Keenan do it." Keenan didn't have the gas money. And Jamie, the boss, said that he couldn't give her gas money because the VA says that we're not allowed to transport patients, and said he would let her do it this time, but not again. But she didn't have the, which that understand that. And when she goes out of town, she goes with her husband and they go to Glendive, so she ain't, you know, taking her car. You know what I mean? Look at this. I just looked down and seen this sticking up. Cool stuff. And I've got to get going. It looks like it's starting to rain. I felt a few drops. So we're going to go and we'll be back again tomorrow. I'll put these rocks in the tumbler either this evening or tomorrow, and we'll take care of that. All right. Love you, my friend. We'll talk later. Bye now.